So, hello everyone. As Vitaly said, my name is Marin. I'm from Moldova. I moved 8 months ago to Netherlands. I have 7+ experience in the QA domain, mainly in automation. And today I hope I will bring something new. We'll share some experience and some results of my experiments and research done in specifically about reporting of the automated execution. This is no means something that I want to say that these are the silver bullets or the best solutions. These are the ones that I found most interesting, but also I'll speak of some solutions that I think we should stop using or avoid using. So let's go. This is me, if you didn't know me. The agenda will have 4 main parts. It will be a small introduction. We'll talk about my personal classifications of reports that I have, type 1, type 2. And we'll have some honorable and not very mentions about some other solutions that it's nice to keep in mind, but not very to spend a lot of time on them. So what are the ingredients? What criteria do we use to actually evaluate some solutions? These are the main 3 parts that I see. Informative is, again, for everyone it will be different, but a report needs to bring you the right information in the right format about the right things. And it will be different for project, it will be different for different stakeholders. Product owner will look for different information than a QA or developer or an architect. And basically the best solution would be one that fits them all, which is, we all know it's a unicorn. Shareable and accessible, it's something that it needs to be easy to access this information. Shareable either through different sources as messaging or mail. Should be lightweight, it should be easy to open with normal software that is on each one's computer. And flexible and configurable, it should be able to support configuration to be adjustable for different needs, for different projects, different domains, and different stakeholders. First type that I want to talk about is the reports that are being generated after the execution of the tests. We all know about them. Usually during a specific test run, some system will gather all the metrics and will generate the reports just at the end. So this is one thing that I would like to mention. So I think one thing I forgot, sorry. This is mainly about Java. It's based mainly on Java, but look at this as something more conceptual, not that these are the best. What we're talking about, not the specific scenarios but or solutions, but their properties mostly. So we have this kind of logging reporting. We have some results. We do have log stack trace, and at the end we'll see how many tests failed, how many was executed, and maybe some metrics about execution time. So are these actually reports? Can we consider this kind of representation a report? No, that's basically a summary at the end, and we have some details, logs from the reporting. These are good for debugging, but not for reporting. These are 2 different things. Also, why do we need something different than standard reporting solution that come with the most of test automation framework or test management framework, like if we're talking Java, is JUnit or Cucumber? Well, as a pros, they're out of the box and usually very lightweight, but almost everyone is messy, just displaying results in a different format rather than console. No data organization, no data processing, not optimized and ugly. And I'll actually demo some of these to you right now. This is the standard reports that comes with Cucumber. Cucumber is a BDD test management framework for Java. It actually has support for other platforms as Ruby and JS. Everything is in one page, yes, but it's not organized. It's very messy. How do you do any metrics? How do you understand how many tests executed? How many of them failed? How many of the steps failed with the same exception? You don't have any statistics, like nothing. And you cannot even work with this kind of data to adjust it or create some representation of this data. So that's why we have to look somewhere else. Most of the test management solutions, well, like Cucumber or JUnit or TestNG, will come with something like this, but that's not their scope of functionality. They just manage a test. They don't have to provide you with very good performant reporting solution. There are other stuff that they need to focus on. So that's why we actually have this kind of presentation, and we need to talk about third-party solutions. Out of the this type of reports, the post-execution one, these 5 are the one that I would like to talk about. They are separate with a purpose. So master for the first one is one that comes strictly for Cucumber for Java. It's a very good one. I will talk about it in a demo. It uses fully what Cucumber uses, and BDD offers us metrics and organization of tests and test representation. It has its minuses, of course. Talk about that. Cucumber, it's, from my perspective, is a copy of Masterfort with a more modern design, and brings search and filtering, which Masterfort doesn't have. Serenity BDD, it's also a good solution, but I really don't like it. It's a very loaded with useless information, where Masterfort is very intuitive. It's very easy to navigate through the report. Serenity always is difficult for me to work with, but there are people that like it. It has its own audience. It's a good one. It works. So that's fine. Extent and Allure. Extent is a separate company that creates multiple reports. It has only 2 of them that are free, which is an HTML version and a log, they call it. All the others are pro, and you have to buy a license for that. But the free one, HTML, it's a very good one because it's one file, HTML. And it's very good. It's easy to share. It's easy to send from mail. Allure, it's also post-execution report generated after the execution, but it requires a server to work on. Allure will be back to Allure later in the presentation. So let me show you how these reports look like, actually. So this is the Masterfort one. The Git repository of the author actually has a live demo site. This is strictly only for Cucumber. It's strictly what you need only. It has good representation. It's not overloaded with information. It has support for different attachments and logs. And it's very easy to integrate with your framework. You don't need to write separate code for this. You just work with Cucumber as it is. And you just configure it and it runs. It has integration with Jenkins. It has representation by tags. You can see metrics and results by tags, which usually represent some components of business specification matters in your project. You can look, again, reporting by steps. You can see which steps failed the most. I can see some trends, not very useful, but again, they have their audience. This is a very lightweight one. Its problem is that it has a lot of files, like it's an HTML and all the files, CSS, JS, and HTML files are separate. So it will be hard to share it. but it has a Jenkins plugin that you can give access through a host name, and anyone with the specific access can access this report. This is the extent report, the HTML1 page. It's also a very good one. It has a little more than Masterfort. It has some charts here based on features, scenario, steps. It has a dark theme, which is nowadays it's very cool. It has different representation. Has a search. You can search by exception types. Also has separation per exception. You can find what kind of exceptions did you have. Nice report. We actually used it in our current project. Easy, lightweight, and easy to integrate with. So this is it. I don't have a demo for Cucumber or Serenity. I'll include some references in the presentation. So if you want to look at them, please go ahead. But they're not that, they don't bring anything more than Masterfort and Extend for me. So I don't think them worth to show them and speak about. So let's summarize about this kind of reports. For example, the Masterfort usually, well, this one has it's Cucumber only, but it has Jenkins integration, multi-level stats like per feature, per scenario, per step. It's open source. You can download the sources, modify them as you wish, and use it. But it's heavy and has lots of files. Where Extend has one page, easy to share, multiple test management frameworks, actually like a bunch of them. But it has other types of reports, but for the money, which for some projects might not be worthwhile. These are some pros and cons that we just discussed. As I said about Allure, we'll come back, but Allure requires a server to work on. So it might be a showstopper for some projects where there is no budget for additional infrastructure to work with to support Allure. But there's also a very good solution. I'll show a demo on Allure a little bit later. So the main problem that we have with this kind of reports is that they are generated at the end of the run, if generated at all. I myself had the experience when I was waiting for the run to finish, and at the end of the run, some exception happened and the report was not generated. Out of memory, if the report is becoming very heavy, or Jenkins crashed, and I don't have reports. I don't know what happened. I don't know how many tests failed, why they failed. So what to do? You have to restart again. But what if your test run takes more than half an hour? It takes hours and you have 1,000 tests there. This is not a good solution for this kind of situation. So as I see it, these kind of reports are very good for small projects with a short test packs that take very little time to execute. If it takes more than 30 minutes, just think before taking one of these solutions or this type of solution, just think if you would like to wait one hour if something happens with the generation of report. So this is the end of first part. If you have any questions, please go ahead. You can ask them in the chat and we can try to answer to them. If no, I'll continue.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Can we share these reports via email, for example?
Yes, the extent one is on one page and you can share it. Very easy. Masterfort, Serenity, Cucumber, it's a big folder of files, CSS files, GS files, and the Masterfort can have up to like 200 megabytes, which is very hard to share through mail. Like, I don't know mail service that will allow more than 20 megabytes.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's Miriam, if I pronounce your name correctly. We'll talk about B projects a bit later, because that's the next part of the presentation. So you'll get the answer for your question as well. Why I don't like Serenity? Serenity is good. It brings some interesting solution. It has integration with Jira, and it actually will do a comment into Jira with the results of the test. But really, I don't know how good is this, because you cannot search Jira for comments. You cannot do a search in Jira and filter the stories in Jira based on those results. So you do have the comment, but in most cases or big projects, it will be kind of useless.
And also, Stephen.
Yes, is Jenkins plugin available for all mentioned reports? So basically, all these reports that I talked about, HTML reports, and you can use the HTML publish plugin from Jenkins to do it. Masterfort. One moment. So Masterfort has a dedicated plugin. Masterfort doesn't have history. You cannot scroll through you cannot see the results from previous runs for the same test, but in Jenkins, you can go to previous runs. So it has it'll have a different button that will allow it to go to the previous run, and you'll see the results of that previous run. It cannot accumulate the results from different runs and show you in one report, but it can do that. Allure, yes, does it does. For extent, you can use the HTML publish plugin. For Serenity, I don't know, but for sure it should have. Yeah, Roman comments is very good. This report use GS, which could be banned for some project.
Yeah, I also faced this situation during my career. You can adjust these policies on Jenkins, but it should be agreed, of course, with your security officer in your company.
These reports that I just talked about don't have any trend analysis. This is for A. Kumar. There's a question, is there any kind of trend analysis for the test case level? These reports don't have, as far as I know. So there are other solutions that have some kind of analysis, again, further in the presentation.
Yeah, thank you. If I may ask, and why I asked this question, because I faced a situation wherein on a big project, let's say 50 test cases are failing, and due to some dependency, one day one test case is failing, another day it's passing, another day again it's failing. So to analyze, to do the analysis, it takes really kind of, there is no trend, so we do not, we were not able to make any decision out of that. That's why.
It's a good comment. We will talk about this trend analysis for test cases a bit later in section number 2.
Yeah, but
thank you. Thank you.
Yes, yes. But this is a very, very valid point, and I think we all at some point in our career met this kind of situation, and that's why I say this kind of solutions are good for small projects with a very small test pack, which will not take that much time to go through the results one by one and do some analysis on top of it. If you have a big test pack, these kind of reports will not actually help you. Will bring very little use to you. So if this is it, let's go further. So next.
A question?
Yeah, sure.
Hello from Kiev. I want to ask about, does this report support some attachments, maybe embedded videos, and will we today speak about report portal service?
I'll answer the first question. Yes, they all support attachments. I don't know about videos, never tried. I know that screenshots, JPEGs and PNG usually supported, and different kind of textual attachments like they have actually formatting for different types of JSON, XML, CSS. Regarding report portal, we'll see later.
Okay, thanks.
So Sandeep put a comment, Allure does support video attachments. Okay, so next type is a real-time reporting solution. What a real-time means is that it doesn't wait for the finish of the execution to actually generate the visual part of the report, and you can track the results of your test execution during its executing. Why this is good for long runs, long test runs. You can actually start analyzing your results just along the way it executes. You don't have to wait for 2-3 hours or a night to do that. And also, if something happens during the run, usually these kind of solutions are separated as infrastructure from the executing machine. If you use Jenkins or any other CI tool, if Jenkins crashes, this system is usually separate infra, and it will keep the results that were generated until the crash. So you don't lose everything as you do with previous solution. Oh, sorry. So first one that I want to talk about is report portal. I'll switch to the demo. It's a very cool solution that I happened to find like a year ago. It's developed by the guys from EPAM, I think. It's from version 5, it became Apache 2 licensed, so you can use it as you wish, extend it on your projects. It has support for the majority of test management frameworks for different platforms. And this is basically a reporting service. It comes mostly with Docker containers. It can be deployed without Docker if you wish, but Docker would be the more easy one. And it's very active supported. Now they are version 5.1, and it's being worked very hard. What it brings to you is, first of all, it can support multiple projects. So you can create multiple projects, switch between them. It uses machine learning and auto analysis. So basically what it does, you have a run, you do the analysis yourself for the first run, and then it will, for all the next runs, it will try to analyze the results and apply I'll show you one moment. So you'll see this kind of defects, or like say if it's a product bug, it's a bug, auto bug, a system issue, or it's still something to investigate. It other than this kind of representation of the runs, it has dashboards. You can create multiple dashboards. You can create a dashboard for integration test, one for performance test, another one for UAT, functional system, all you can wish. You have a bunch of widgets. You can create them from a big list of. I created a few widgets here that are just for demo purpose. You can show this kind of information. You have a stats for the last lunch that you had. You have some stats for all the lunches that you have now. You can filter full lunch because you can have a specific name and tags added to a run, and you can filter all these runs as you wish. It has support for different types of attachments. I don't know about videos. I didn't even think about it actually to try, but it has support for screenshots and different file types, and it will do the formatting for you. And it has history. You can look through the history of this specific scenario in this case, and it will show the results for this scenario through all the cases. If you, for example, don't like the analysis it's done, you can change this. You can go to this scenario and you can change its what is this? You don't think it's a product bug, you think it's an automation bug, and you switch it, and it will be for this, for all the further runs, it will be taken in consideration. Another strong point for this one, it has also user management. So you can create users. Oh, one moment. I think this one. So you can create multiple projects and assign users to some projects. Yeah. It's a very strong solution, but it comes with some cons as well. It has very limited, for example, step statistics. So I wasn't able to find, maybe they brought that into the version 5, but they don't have the, you can see like flaky steps, which step failed mostly. If we are talking BDD and Cucumber specifically, this is a very important statistic. As most of us know, the Cucumber in a step and method is a step, is a separate method. And we would like to know for me personally, it was very useful to know which step usually fails the most and why it fails. And also it will force you to couple with its API. For example, if you are used to attach screenshots or any type of attachments using the Cucumber's own embed function, the portal cannot work with those screenshots. If it's a text tool, it will just be a text without any formatting. If it's an image, it doesn't even appear on the screen. You'll have to use its own API for that. And that's coupling because if you, for some reason, would like to switch to another solution, you'll have to do some refactoring. And the other thing is, which can be a showstopper for some projects, it's dedicated infra. It's, as we understand, it's a separate service with a lot of functions, and it will require some really good sources, hardware, infra to work on. And it will keep growing along with the project, because you'll have a lot of runs, a lot of attachments. So this is something that needs to be taken in consideration. But its pros overcome all the cons for me personally, because I saw this being used in 2 projects on other previous companies, and it brings a lot of ease. You can easily understand and what happened in each run. You can filter the run. And from version 5, the guys actually introduced some API to create your custom plugins. It has its own email plugin that you can use to send email notifications. But if you don't like it, you can write your own. You can write your own plugin for alerts and anything that you wish. It comes with support for, as I said, for most of the test automation, test management frameworks, different platforms. But if for some reason you don't like it, you can create your own, because it has an API, a REST API that you can use and work with it. You know, it doesn't limit you to use their own clients. It has historical data. You can actually, because it's Apache 2 now, you can actually extend it with your own widgets if you wish to. What I would wish to have is a bit more integration with Jira. For now, it has integration with Jira, and I think it tests Rally, another ALM. It allows you to create a defect directly from the report, and it will attach, you'll have a link to a specific defect. You'll have a link to that Jira ticket that you create.
Yeah, just one remark from my side. Just checked in the meantime, it supports video attachments. Yes.
Yeah, I actually didn't think about, never had to do, but yeah, that's a very useful thing. I didn't have work in the latest years with UI project, so I think that's why. Yeah, Jira is supported. I would like something more than just creating defects. Maybe accessing whole story or epic out of report portal. The team is very responsive. It has a very big community. On GitHub, very active. You can create issues, ask, and if it's useful, it will be taken into next release. And it's very, very active supported, because I think it's like now it's 5.1. Didn't take them like even half a year to bring it. And it's really almost out of the box solution. It has its own clients. You have a dependency in your framework. You install it in a Kubernetes environment or not, and it's there. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to write any more code. So I will suggest you to go on their website and try it. We really tried. It was a pleasure to work with this solution. It's by no means publicity or advertisement. They didn't pay me for that. It's really a good solution, and I'm really happy to see. And now they came to Apache 2. One project, it was refused because it's then licensing. I think it was MIT licensing, and the client rejected it. But with Apache 2, you're like, almost any project will go.
After this presentation, they should pay you.
Yeah, I don't mind.
May I have a question?
Yeah.
How do you suggest? Who is the main competitor of the report portal?
I really don't know now. They might have in the future. I'll speak about some of them, but I really don't know a solution that is that full of features and stable.
So as I saw, the minuses of this approach is infra, first of all. So if we have an infra, dedicated infra, everything else is it's the small problems. So currently
Yes.
we're using the report portal, and I came to this meeting to maybe find some solutions which are competitors.
Maybe there are a few more that I want to speak about. So we'll see if that solves your issues. But one more thing, this one is a very strong solution, but it's mostly for a company program level reporting. So if you have a company and you want to have like all the projects reported in one place, so it's again related maybe to infra. If you have a program that has multiple sub-projects, a client or something, and also want to have everything in one place, this is a good solution for you to go. The guys actually have very good documentation. If, for example, you used report portal 4 and you want to switch to 5, they have guides to migrate that. So this is it about report portal. Do you have any question regarding this one? Maybe as I have a prepared demo, I can show something on it if you are interested in specific scenarios or parts of it. If no, I'll go further.
Yeah, let's proceed maybe to next solutions.
Yeah. So next one is a combination between Elasticsearch and Kibana. I don't know if everyone is aware of them. Elasticsearch is a NoSQL JSON-based storage solution. It can store information in the format of JSON documents. And Kibana is a dashboard by the same company, Elastic.io, for Elasticsearch. So I'll show a small demo of it. So this is Kibana. Elasticsearch is just the storage service. Everything is in the format of JSONs. This is how it looks in a JSON format. And if you want to have a more easy to read format, you can search through these documents. And the best part that I see is the dashboards. It has a lot of visualizations that you can arrange as you wish. So this first one, for example, you'll have an inner circle of the pie chart is the statuses that you have failed and passed. And it also will show you each cucumber tags, which in my case can mean some functionality or domain of the system per that status. So it will show me the past. I have only 2 past and which tags enter this status, and the failed one. Also, I can show the representation of failed and passed like this. The same pie chart can be represented in a bar format. You can have tables. It has a lot more other types of visualization. And the difference between this and report portal dashboard, for example, you have more flexibility here because you can change these widgets or visualization as you wish. And the second one, it has a few more widgets of visualization that can be used for performance testing as well, or performance reporting as well, which I didn't find good in the report portal for performance. So this one is also a very strong solution. This one is the one that I had a lot of fun to work with and research. Another great feature of Kibana is the canvas. So the canvas is basically, one moment. It's slow because it's on my local machine. It's not because Kibana is slow. If you have the right infra, it will be very powerful system. So the canvas is basically a document or presentation if you want. So if you want to have a presentation that you have to do it every once in a while at some milestone in your project regarding the test progress, you can create this presentation. Will be a first page, some introduction. Then you can have another page with some metrics on it, with statuses, kind of failures. Why did it happen? We'll have some explanation here on the pie charts. Another one, you'll have a table with some other representation, and this information here will refresh each time. So you can have a presentation to the stakeholders, to managers, and you don't have to write it every time. It will create it once, and then it just refresh the data based on latest results that you had. The only minus here, it is that if you want to share it, for example, you want to put in a PDF format, you need to buy the premium for that. It's not in the free part. If you do that with a free license, you'll have this exception here. It will tell you that you don't have the license to do that. So that's a minus of this Kibana and Elasticsearch solution. Another one is that if report portal is fully free and you have the notification and alerts there, but here you do have notification alerts, but they are also part of the premium. So you'll have to pay for that. So let's switch to our presentation.
May I have a question?
One moment, let me finish please about Elasticsearch and then we can switch to questions. So just summarize what we about Elasticsearch and Kibana is you have full control on the data format. So, and this comes with the cons here, which is no ready integration solution. You'll have to write your own client then that aggregates data from your run, from each run, and sends it into Elasticsearch. Transform it into a JSON and send it to Elasticsearch. You'll have to write your own code for that. That's definitely a minus, a cons, but this brings with other pros that you have control of how the data is represented. Full control. You have to split it, results per scenario, per step, per run, per hook. It's totally up to you. You have full control of how your data is stored in that Elasticsearch. It has a lot of plugins. I included here a link to a GitHub repository that has a big list of plugins for Kibana that can be used for report. If there's something that you need and it's not part of the Kibana, you can write it your own. And as I said, for me, the only limitation is the premium subscription here and your imagination. But as report portal, it will require some heavy dedicated infra, because the storage will keep increasing with time. Either you increase the file system or the storage capacity, either you think about purging the data, all data. It's totally up to you. And another cons that can be a showstopper is the limited support for evidence other than textual. So Kibana cannot show images or videos. It can show only textual. There is a plugin, a third-party plugin, that will allow for Kibana to load images from an URL. But I wouldn't do that. It's not meant for that. Kibana is meant for actually logs aggregator. We are reusing it as a reporting solution. So why would you use this kind of solution? Well, I would use it for a non-UI project with a very big test pack. And if you don't find a ready solution like Report Portal that fits all your needs of representation, sharing, and reporting, also you'll have to need to have the infra resources to handle it. If your project already uses Elasticsearch stack, LK stack, like Logstash and all the other, for operations, it's a good way to go with. You'll have one place, and you can actually have one place of reporting for all the stakeholders. You can report operation performance, functional test, all metrics of the system, actually how it works and behaves. Elasticsearch supports authorization through different like LDAP or Active Directory from Windows. So you can set up security policies, privileges. It's a very good solution already. And it can be for a place for all the project metrics and dashboards. But I wouldn't use this for a program or company-wide project reporting solution as Report Portal can be. This is strictly for one project. So this is it with Elasticsearch. If you have some question about it specifically.
Okay, I have a question, and my question is, you know that Report Portal use Elasticsearch under the hood.
Yeah.
So Elasticsearch is a part of the core of Report Portal. So
yes.
You can add Kibana if you want. So Kibana is just visualization and searching tool.
Yeah.
So
but in Report Portal, you don't control the way the data is being stored.
Yes.
That's for me personally, it was a good big plus, because I split it in the projects that I use this kind of solution. I split it the information stored, the JSON documents, test and hooks, because I didn't want to have tests that failed due to hooks to be in the dashboard for test. That's not always because of the actual test. The test was passed, a hook was failed, and I didn't want that to interfere into one. So for that specific project, Elasticsearch and Kibana was a better option for me personally.
Yeah, thank you.
That's why it's not a silver bullet. It's not for everybody, of course. And then, again, the solutions that I'm talking about, they are not here to replace whatever you use. The approach is take it, read it, inform it about it, maybe try it from some POC, and look if it fits your needs, and only then use it.
Thank you.
Just one more question from my side. As far as I understood, it can be used for non-UI projects. And can we use it for performance tests, for example?
Yes. I don't have an example of that, but Elasticsearch has timeline, I think it's called. Let me find it. It has a timeline, so you can have some reporting, and it will show the progress in time. So what happened in time. I don't have an example, unfortunately. But for performance testing, I really would suggest using Grafana and InfluxDB. I tried for this purpose when looking into Elasticsearch and Kibana and Report Portal. I looked through Grafana as well, and I didn't fit it for functional reporting, for functional testing reporting. But it's very good for performance testing because Grafana and all its visualizations created around reporting of events in time, like the progress in time, what happened in a specific time, each minute or each second, depending on how you need. So for that, for performance, I would suggest strongly to look towards Grafana and InfluxDB. And Grafana is also open source, as far as I know. You can create plugins for that if it doesn't fit. And actually, Grafana can integrate with Elasticsearch as well. So if you already have Elasticsearch as a storage solution for the metrics from performance testing, you can put Grafana on top of it and create really strong reports and dashboards.
Yep, cool. Thanks for explanation.
Grafana, sorry, Grafana is a push model, right? So you push the messages to Grafana.
No, it's basically an alternative of Kibana. It can read information from Elasticsearch or MySQL or any other types of storage systems.
Okay, so the underlying storage model. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's continue. So Allure, I'll switch to the demo. As I said, Allure is usually generated at the end of run, and this is valid for both if it's in Jenkins or you run it on your local machine. But with some tweaking, there are third-party plugins or services written, and the one is actually embeds into a Docker container that will allow you to push information or results to Allure on the fly. And you can transform it into a real-time execution reporting solution. It's a very strong one. It's also has good representation of data, no complaints. The only thing that I will complain about it is for BDD, it doesn't uses the tags. It doesn't show any reporting per tag for Cucumber, but that's the only thing that I can complain about. All the rest, it's a very good, strong solution. As I said, they support video, photo attachments, files. And there is a strong, what Allure has is its plugin API. So it allows you to create your own plugins, and it allows you to modify basically each part of a report. It allows you to add a subcategory or tab, as they call them here, any that you wish. It allows you to create a widget on the main dashboard page, and it will allow you to edit how for example, the test show. For example, you want to show something else here besides this information. So it allows to modify this as well. Allure has a very strong, and Allure is mostly a framework rather than a ready solution. If you put it on a separate server from Jenkins and create your own to send the information to Allure, to feed the information to it, it can become a very good solution and a very good concurrent to Elasticsearch, Kibana, or Report Portal. The only problem here is that you have to write your own client for this kind of situation, specific this kind of situation. So, as I said, Allure is very extendable. It's multi-platform, has support for multiple platforms and test management frameworks. It has a very big community. A minus that I consider it uses file system as a storage. So basically, the information is stored in JSONs just on the disk. I don't think that's the most performant. It's heavy to work with. So it's basically to feed data into Allure to make it as a real-time reporting solution. You just write files to some FTP server. Implementing history support, the Jenkins plugin that is created by the guys already has this implemented, but to do it yourself, you have to implement it, and it's not really straightforward to do it. And as I said, you'll have, if you need some functionality, you'll have to do it yourself. no alerts, no notification. As far as I know, no data analysis. They are working now on Allure 3, version 3, I think, and maybe they'll bring some very cool features there as well. As the use case for Allure, it can work on any project, UI, non-UI. As I said, it's a one project reporting solution. I wouldn't use it for program or company-wide. Also, it's a one level, so I would use it for either on functional, either on integration. I wouldn't mix up the levels of testing here. But again, if you implement your own visualizations and tabs, you can do that as well. And I'll really consider it as a base for your own solution on top of it. So if you want to take it and create another solution that with different features that it has for a project or for your own company, I think it's a very good start also. So this will be it with Allure. Any question regarding Allure, or maybe comments, suggestions, maybe something I missed?
Yeah. We have some in chat that Alexander is asking, have we heard about Allure server?
No.
Alexander, maybe you want to comment on this?
Yeah, maybe I missed something.
That's
it's a paid solution.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Well, unlike Report Portal is totally free. With Report Portal, one thing that, as far as I know, they can implement custom solution for you if you wish, but yeah, you have to pay for that. If there is something that you strictly need in Report Portal and you want to go that to get priority, you'll have to pay them for that.
I want to add that you told that Allure use file system for storage, and that means that you cannot use some filtering or sorting options inside of Allure, but Report Portal can.
Yeah. Yes. Let me show you. You have the search one, because again, when it refreshes, it will show the information here, and you can search for this specific page. But it uses JS.
But you can filter and you can sort.
Yeah, you can. You can filter it if you want, and you can sort. But the file system is not like the best way of reading data from.
Yes, so Report Portal gives us much more possibilities.
Yes, yes.
Sorting and filtering and so on.
Yeah, but Report Portal, as I said, it's a heavy one. So for some projects, it's just not needed all that muscles that Report Portal have. Yes. They're not needed, so they can be redundant. You can go with Allure, very good one. It's a more simple one, and just for that. So as I said previously, you just need to take all of them, all the pluses and cons, and specific details on how to use them, and identify the one that fits your needs. Okay. So Alexander posted a comment with a link to a website regarding Allure server. So it's a good one. I don't know how. I think we can include it in the meetups page so everyone see it. I think we'll do that.
Good idea.
So if no more questions or remarks regarding the Allure, I'll continue that. So we are almost at the end. We come to the worth to mention. So Extend are developing a reporting server as well, and Extend Cloth. It's not ready yet. It wasn't released, and last time I used it was very fresh, very raw, and lots of bugs on it. But if you like extend types of reports, this is a good one to wait for, and maybe start experimenting with it. As I said, Allure can be transformed as it is into a real-time solution server. with some Allure and some other additional implementation. Another type that would be to be considered is plugins for LMs, for test management system like Jira. And we know X-Ray and Zephyr. Unfortunately, with X-Ray, I heard a lot of good stuff about it, but I didn't have the chance to work as they don't provide trial, and Jira doesn't provide you trial or some local solution to work with. I would really be eager to try X-Ray, maybe sometime. And Zephyr, unfortunately, I had the chance to work with Zephyr plugin for Jira, not to mix up with this standalone system. I really didn't like it. First of all, because it's just a separate subsystem within Jira. You cannot use Jira's search mechanism of filtering to filter maybe stories based on Zephyr results. You'll have to go to Zephyr to filter or search for test results. And it has very minimalistic and almost useless dashboards or visualization of data. At least for me, it was like that. If somebody has better experience with Zephyr, maybe integrate with some BI, business intelligence, but that's all what I can say about Zephyr. I really wouldn't go with it as a reporting solution on a project. So this was it from me. If you have any more questions, remarks, comments, objections, please share them with me.
I have one remark. It was awesome. Thanks, Marin. That's super nice.
Thank you, Vitaly.